Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So we will be continuing with our lesson on Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Today we will discuss his support and his devotion for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Throughout the lesson, you will come to realize and you will see how much love Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu had for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how much he supported Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how devoted he was to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, for the first 3 years of Islam, Allah Ta'ala commanded Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to preach Islam secretly. Then the ayah was revealed. Therefore, preach openly what you are commanded, and turn away from those who join false gods with Allah. After this ayat was revealed, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was now commanded to preach Islam openly. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam he goes into the Kaaba, and he goes and he spreads the oneness of Allah. He speaks about the oneness of Allah. One can only imagine the chaos that erupted. The kuffar and the Quraysh of Makkah mobbed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from all sides. They started beating him up. They started hitting him until he lost consciousness. Now there's nobody there at that time who is so strong and so brave, who can go and support Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At this critical moment, who is there that goes out to rescue Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? None other than Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. He pushes his way through the crowd. He shouts at the people and scolds at them and says, "May Allah punish you for this. Will you hit him and will you abuse him simply because he believes in the oneness of Allah?" So Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was there in all the moments of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to care for him, to see to him, and to protect him as much as he could. Now when Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu comes to support Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, comes to save Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the Quraysh, what happens? The Quraysh now surround Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. They start beating him up. He receives a number of wounds to his head, causing him to become unconscious. Finally, the arrival of the Banu Taym, that is the family of Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, is what saves him. And they take him and they carry him away and they take him to a place of safety. Now look at Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu's devotion and his love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when he regains consciousness, he doesn't ask, "Where am I? What happened to me?" No, he asks, "How is my beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?" His family tries to reassure him and they tell him that he is fine. But Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu is not reassured. He tells them, "Please take me to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want to see him." And because of his wounds, Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu could not even walk. He could not go himself. Finally, his family carries him to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And only once he sees Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is he reassured and he is happy that, you know what, finally I've seen Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he is okay and he is alive. This was the love of Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. This was the dedication he showed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now when matters got worse for the Muslims, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed them to go to Abyssinia. Right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed them to go to Abyssinia. And when they made hijrah to Abyssinia, this was the first hijrah of Islam. When they made hijrah to Abyssinia, Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was part of the group that went. And on the way to Abyssinia, they met the chief of the tribe of Qara. The chief of the tribe Qara. His name was Ibn Ad-Daghina. His name was Ibn Ad-Daghina. So the chief of the tribe of Qara, Ibn Ad-Daghina, he saw Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. He spoke to him and he even mentioned the exemplary character of Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. And he said that a man of your character should not be exiled. Why are you leaving Makkah? Someone of your character should not be exiled from Makkah. For you help the poor and the needy. You give relief to the distress. And your table welcomes a traveler. Ibn al-Daghina encouraged Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu to return back to Makkah. And he pledged his responsibility to see to the Muslims of Makkah and to ensure that they are free to worship as they wish. Later on, when the conditions became much more worse for the Muslims, when the Quraysh continued to oppress the Muslims and they made their lives difficult and they made living in Makkah unbearable, that is when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam now told the Muslims to go to Medina. So the people of Yathrib, the people of Medina, invited the Muslims to their town. And that is when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent all the Muslims to Medina. Right? So the second hijrah was to Medina. The first hijrah was to Abyssinia and the second hijrah was to Medina. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent all the Muslims besides Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu and Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu. For himself and his two companions, he was waiting for the command of Allah. So Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was so beloved in the eyes of Allah as well that Allah chose him to support Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to assist him and to help him in all these main events of his life. That this great journey of hijrah which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made, Allah Ta'ala chose Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu to be with him, to be his support and to assist him through. So when the command came, Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu was commanded to stay behind in Makkah, to stay in the house because the Quraysh was surrounding the house and they were planning to kill and attack Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the darkness of the night, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam leaves in the midst of the Quraysh, and who is there with him? Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. The two of them travel and they go and they stay in the cave of Thur. They go hide in the cave of Thur for 3 days. For 3 days, they stay in the cave of Thur. Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran regarding Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, the second of the two when they were both in the cave. And this is regarding Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu when he was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on this journey of hijrah. We're only going to speak about the virtues of Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. We cannot go into the whole journey of hijrah, the migration of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is a whole lesson on its own, because we're only trying to highlight the virtues of Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. That is why we're only going to mention that he was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he supported Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they reached Medina on the 12th of Rabiul Awwal. They reached Medina on the 12th Rabiul Awwal. After the hijrah, Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was with Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he participated in all the battles that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had taken part in. When they reached Medina, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reached Medina, the land of Masjidun Nabawi, that land was bought by Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So this is a beautiful point to remember, that the land on which Masjidun Nabawi stands was bought by Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. In the 9th year of Hijrah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had made Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu the Amirul Hajj, the leader of the Hajj. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam trusted Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu to that degree that he made him the leader of this great journey to lead the people in Hajj. And this shows that Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu had that qualities to be able to lead the Jamaat and to be able to lead the group during that Hajj. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had fallen ill, when he was sick and he was unable to perform salah, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the responsibility of imamat to Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was made Imam of Masjid al-Nabawi in the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this was the highest honor that any Muslim could receive in that period. So all of this, if you look at the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam making Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu the Amir of the Hajj, if you look at the Imamat of Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, if you look at the amount of time and dedication and support that he gave for Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, proves to us and it shows us that Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was the most deserving and the most rightful of becoming the first Khalifa of Islam, was going to continue with the preaching of Islam and to continue with the work that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. The book that I am using is the Khulafaa-e-Rashideen. Visit www.lma.org.za. So that's it for today. We will inshallah continue in our next episode with the virtues of Hazrat Abu Bakr As-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.